This is the Big Machine Cody Hawkins, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube. I'm Double B Billy Bujo, your official Wrestle Gamer, joined by the Studley Man Ashley and the master of Rockin Waves 11294, Chris Rogers. Guys, how y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good, just been laying around.
I've been watching TNA because it's much better.
Well, a lot of people will probably agree with you. Well,
no, that and also TNA.
Well, I think maybe after last night's pay-per-view, I think anything would be better than watching it again. But anyway, let's go ahead and give our Monday Night Raw review for the week of June 18th, 2012. Monday Night Raw originated from Long Island, New York, and of course it kind of makes sense to have Long Island's own. Now, what most people today would think Zack Ryder, but there was another person before Zack Ryder who was Long Island's own, and that, of course, is Mick Foley. Good to see Foley again. It was a great, interesting segment. Apparently, from what we understand now, is from now on, every week, we're going to have a different general manager for Raw and SmackDown. And these people were like past general managers, or I guess... No, actually, I just thought about this. Could they also go into the celebrity guest host and look at them as general managers?
Oh yeah, you got people like Bob Barker, that was pretty cool. Buzz Aldrin, because he thought it was the WWF. But then you've got other wrestlers. I mean, technically, the very first general manager was Batista. You could have him back for a week. You know? I'm going to have to get a list up while we're going to see who else realistically would be a good weekly manager from the previous list, because that went on for ages.
I actually have the previous list.
Well, before you go into that,
could probably be a separate video.
Well, yeah, probably, but, you know, hypothetically speaking, Chris and Ash, what about Eric Bischoff?
No.
I said it before at the start of this video. TNA, he's kind of busy.
Well, you got a point.
You know, that's like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the equivalent. That's like at the Democratic conference, oh, here's my special guest, John McCain. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Alright. Well, apparently he brought out John Laurinaitis, and at first he was going to do his farewell speech, but apparently the crowd in Long Island didn't give a crap about it, so they booed over him, and then he made the announcement before he got fired from being the general manager. He made one last match, and it's going to be the main event for tonight's Monday Night Raw. It was going to be a 3-on-1 handicap match. It was going to be The Big Show, David Otunga, and John Laurinaitis taking on John Cena. Why? I don't know. I don't understand the purpose of it. You know, really doesn't make any sense to have this match since Laurinaitis was already fired. So I really didn't see, you know, the whole purpose of it. My grade on the opening segment of Monday Night Raw this week is really just an average score, 3 out of 5. It wasn't bad, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fantastic either. You know, it wasn't like a real catchy way to open up Monday Night Raw. So it was good to see Mick Foley again, you know, a real legend in the WWE, and a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He should be in the Hall of Fame within the next 3 or 4 years, in my opinion. But it was really good to see him back on Monday Night Raw. I'm really looking forward to see what they could have him do on Friday Night SmackDown as general manager. I'm really interested to see where they go with this. So right now, my score for the opening segment, 3 out of 5. Ashley, your thoughts?
3 out of 5. It was nice to see Foley back, and it was nice to see that not only can you have cheap pops from Foley, but you can have cheap heat from Laurinaitis.
Chris, your thoughts?
What I don't get is, why didn't Mr. Sacco make a match? Come on! When I see Mick Foley, I expect to see Mr. Sacco.
I think a lot of people expect to see Mr. Sacco. But, anyway, let's go to the opening match that Mick Foley made for this week's Monday Night Raw. A tag team match, Sheamus and CM Punk taking on Kane and Daniel Bryan. I thought this was, you know, on paper, this has the makings for a really great match, and it was, up until the point where it was just starting to get everybody's starting to scratch their head like, what was the purpose of this match? And then we pretty much get really an eyeful of what this match was really all about, is when AJ's music hits, she comes out in a red and black attire wearing her own Kane mask. Ashley, I'm going to go to you first. Initial reactions.
Well, I seriously don't know what she's doing, but I'm still intrigued by it because clearly she's going to be involved in this for a bit, but it's like she thinks she can go with anybody. She's there with Punk, she's in love with Bryan, she's in love with Kane by the looks of it, even though she was smiling last night at the pay-per-view because she swerved Kane. And then when she got slapped by Vicky, she kind of liked that, and I was like, wow, this is going lesbian angle, it's just weird. But we will see what happens in the next few weeks, I'm guessing. But clearly this is AJ being face, possibly heel, but incorporating her heelish aspects that she's shown so well in FCW over the last year or so.
Chris, your initial reactions to the apparently female Kane attire by AJ?
All I can say is scary, but if Vicky Guerrero did it, scary and scarring, but with AJ doing it, damn.
Now, of course, with AJ prompting around as a female Kane, of course, it got Kane's attention. And, of course, that leaves poor Daniel Bryan to not only receive the go to sleep from CM Punk, but the bro kick from Sheamus. And pretty much they ended the match like that. Sheamus and CM Punk get the win. 4 out of 5 on this one, just basically because, 1, we got to see AJ, and 2, we got to see AJ going psycho. And, of course, what CM Punk's favorite statement is, hey, you gotta dig crazy chicks. Ashley, you're great on the match.
4 out of 5 was a pretty good match, I will say that. That's all I can pretty much say.
Chris, you're great?
4 out of 5.
Next up, something that a lot of fans have been wanting to see, finally, between Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger, with the winner apparently getting the respect and affection and, I guess, services, in a sense, of Vicky Guerrero. God, that sounds wrong when I say it like that. But anyway...
You're putting a bad image in my head.
I think I put a bad image in everyone's head who's watching this video right now. Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger, I gotta say, the crowd really got behind Ziggler, and the crowd's really starting to respond to a lot to Ziggler as of late, Ash. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, the crowd have been over them really for the past 6 to 9 months, man.
Chris.
The problem is they can't. It's because they got too many faces.
Well, yeah, you got a point.
Heels to come in.
Yeah, you do have a point. I mean, we can't have face, and only one heel. And right now, the dominant heel, and I don't know, maybe arguably to say the top heel right now on Monday Night Raw is the Big Show, in a sense, since John Laurinaitis is no longer there. And as far as this match goes, interesting match. At one point, I thought Jack Swagger had it because he had the ankle lock on Ziggler, and I thought Ziggler might have actually done something to his knee because he got him kind of gimpy, and it looked like he was favoring his leg for a few minutes in the match, but he was able to kind of walk it off, so apparently it must not have been a very bad injury to his knee. But Ziggler was able to pull off the zigzag out of nowhere and gets the win, and then gets tongue-kissed by Vicky Guerrero. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, there goes the... Why do I suddenly taste cheese in my mouth now?
I think everybody who's watching the video right now at this moment is asking that very same question. That very same question. As far as this match goes, my grade for it, I'm going to go 4 out of 5. I thought it was a really well done match. It wasn't bad at all, and it was good to see Ziggler and Swagger, and apparently on opposite ends, facing each other for once. And Great match. You know, I just could have gone. I could have gone without the Vicky Guerrero makeout scene with Dolph Ziggler. I'm pretty sure Ziggler ran to the back and was wondering, "Hey, where the hell's my scope?" Ashley, you're great on the match.
3.5 out of 5. Mainly because the wrong guy won.
Really?
Not that I'm against Ziggler winning, but I just wanted... Because Ziggler can go on his own. He doesn't need Vicky anymore. Swagger does. So, it really just needs to be... let Ziggler be heel on his own, because he can do it. He doesn't need a mouthpiece just keep going, excuse me, all the time.
But Ash, ever since he got with Vicky, he's gotten the push. Before he got with Vicky, he didn't really get a push.
Yeah, but that's because he still needed development. We're talking 2 years since he's been paired up with Vicky.
Yeah. And he's come a long way.
He only needed one. For the past 12 months, he hasn't hugely needed her, because, I mean, look at the promo that he did, I can't believe it, was it 6 months ago? When he was talking about Randy Orton, and he said, I have the best matches of the night on purpose. He's the one that said that, not Vicky. He's ready.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
She can go on to the next generation and train somebody else up to have better mic skills. Like Tensai.
We haven't even heard him talk.
We have for one promo.
Sakamoto, didn't he?
Chris, you're great on the match between Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger.
3.5 out of 5. Makeout scene just made me go. Basically, and what you said about Dolph Ziggler going back, trying to find where his scope was, he actually had the same reaction that Edge did. Every time he kissed her, he had to run to the back to dry heave.
I think everybody in America that saw that had a dry heave. I know I had a dry heave. Next up...
Scope, do we mean Super Scope 6? I don't know.
Anyway, the next segment following was the response from Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar about the challenge laid out from Triple H on last night's pay-per-view. I still don't understand why they had to have that segment on the pay-per-view. I thought it might have been better to have that kind of a segment on Monday Night Raw on a much broader audience instead of a pay-per-view audience. But WWE's thinking, I don't know. But apparently Paul Heyman, and basically the response he gives for Brock Lesnar is saying no to everything. No, they're not going to drop the lawsuit. No, they're not going to be at SummerSlam. And no, he's not going to fight Triple H. And then Triple H comes out and let's just sum it up like this. They're really doing a lot to build up into this match. The matchup, as far as I'm concerned, is still going to go on. Despite what the promos say, one way or another, this matchup is going to happen. WWE, they're playing everybody like this, and they're playing up.
Look at the poster.
Say that?
Look at the poster.
Oh yeah, that was a
poster.
Oh yes, the phenomenal poster. One of the things Triple H did to try to goad Paul Heyman into turning around and saying yes was the promotional poster they made up for SummerSlam. It was apparently Brock Lesnar's big fat skull on the face, apparently given the same look he gives every time Dana White gives him a blowjob, and what a lightning bolt on there. And apparently that was going to be the SummerSlam logo. I thought it was the best way to kind of, describe the look of Brock Lesnar's face on there. But it was a phenomenal poster, and I guarantee you, that's going to be our promotional poster for SummerSlam, guys. That's going to be it. That's going to be what we're going to see from now on for the promotion for SummerSlam. And to tell you what, to be honest with you, I'm not disappointed about that, because for one thing, it's Brock Lesnar. His name carries a lot of weight in the wrestling business. No matter all the jokes I can crack about him, his name still is respected and still carries a lot of weight. When people hear the name Brock Lesnar, they know who we're talking about. But to have such a huge match now, like Brock Lesnar and Triple H at SummerSlam, a major pay-per-view, a matchup that I called and I said what was going to happen at SummerSlam. is just an icing on the cake. And to tell you what, from the way it looks right now, Ashley, the way they're playing this, man, this is going to be an awesome build and what I believe to be an awesome trip all the way leading into SummerSlam, leading into this match with Triple H and Brock Lesnar. Would you agree? Yes or no?
To an extent, yes, but not fully yes, because you got to take into consideration the fact that it's not perfect. The whole legal thing just reminds me of a bad episode of Judge Judy, and it just doesn't fully work with me. And the fact is, I don't know who wants to go over more, because they're billing it as if, because if they do bill it and Triple H does go over on Lesnar, it makes Lesnar look completely useless, and why the hell did he come back if all he's doing is losing?
Chris, let me ask
kind
you...
of like
go ahead.
How we fought with Jericho. Kind of like how we fought with Jericho for the past 4 months.
Yeah. Chris, let me ask you this. When would be, personally, when do you believe would be the right time for them to bring Brock Lesnar back onto WWE programming and actually have him get actively involved in the storyline between him and Triple H?
Never.
Really?
The match that I did see with Brock Lesnar, it just didn't impress me. I mean, this is what I did when I saw the Brock Lesnar match.
I'm like a couple of quarts of eggnog and fall asleep in front of the TV.
That's basically what I did.
Wow.
I was not impressed.
That was actually one of the best main events that WWE's had in the past 12 months, so that's a bit much, in my opinion. But you say time?
Yeah.
Isn't there a big milestone event coming up in about
the
4 weeks?
1000th episode of Monday Night Raw,
which is
July 23rd.
23rd. The pay-per-view is August 19th.
Yeah.
That's 3 or 4 weeks. That's enough build.
I gotta agree with you. Grade on this segment, I'm gonna go 4 out of 5, just for the simple fact we saw Paul Heyman get his teeth knocked down his throat by Triple H. I thought it was always good. Whenever Paul Heyman gets physically abused, that's always a good thing, a good plus in my book. Ashley, your grade on the segment? Ash? Chris, what about you? What is your grade on this Paul Heyman Triple H segment?
3 out of 5. Paul Heyman, didn't really care to see. Basically, he reminded me of a retarded Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
With Triple H, the only thing that saved that segment was Triple H coming in, and I think Gash's antivirus kicked in. But Triple H basically laying out Paul Heyman. That's what saved that segment to me.
All right. Well, let's. Hopefully, we'll get Ash back on the line here quite soon. The next matchup is again Alberto Del Rio and Santino Marella. Well, let me just say this. This matchup lasted a lot longer than the first encounter. If I can remember correctly, the first encounter between Del Rio and Santino Marella was like about a minute and a half, 2 minutes at best. And this one went on for at least twice that. But Alberto Del Rio made quick work. This kind of shows you, how much, I guess, what the WWE kind of thinks of the United States Championship. They put it on Santino Marella, who, at some points, he is entertaining. He is an entertaining guy. But, he's your United States Champion, and you had him lose to Alberto Del Rio in about 5 minutes. That kind of shows you what the WWE thinks about that. As far as this match goes, I think I'm just going to go average on this one, Chris. I'm going to go 3 out of 5. Like I said, I wasn't impressed, but I don't think it was bad either. What are your thoughts?
I have to agree with you. Santino really hasn't been impressing me lately as he has in the past. Now, last night, seeing him rip off Ricardo Montalban's, or however you say it's pants, and revealing that he basically has Alberto Del Rio kissing his ass, literally. You know, that was pretty hilarious, but basically, his matches, come on. I have to agree with you.
Well, do we have Ashley back here on Skype?
I don't know, why don't you ask him?
Ashley, you there?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, first off, back to the Triple H Paul Heyman segment. Your thoughts on that?
Just overall, probably grade-wise, 3 out of 5. You know, the problem is, this is getting just a bit too similar to Cedar and Rock. We're
Really?
building these up too early.
Alright, and we just got finished talking about the Alberto Del Rio Santino Marella match.
Good match. It's what you expect from a simple, you know, match that he's coming back from quote-unquote injury when he got concussed. Not on SmackDown, but it was the house show. You know, you have to be out and inactive for a week, which meant that he couldn't perform last night. So they got him on tonight, and they're clearly going to line him up to have his rematch that he was supposed to get 2 months last month, but didn't. Then he was supposed to get it last time, but then due to the concussion, it never happened. So dare I say third time lucky, but for that I probably grade it as 3.5 out of 5. It did what it had to. You know, the tuxedo match thankfully didn't rear its ugly head that much.
Chris, your thoughts on Alberto Del Rio versus Santino Marella?
Oh, I have to give it 3 out of 5.
Okay. Then next up was the big segment involving Cyndi Lauper, WWE Hall of Famer Wendy Richter, and of course Layla came out and introduced. By the way, she looked smoking hot in that outfit she had on tonight. I'll tell you what. But anyway, apparently fans didn't really appreciate Cyndi Lauper. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. All right. Now, for you today's wrestling fans, you know, for the fans who started watching the WWE, I'm going to say anywhere between 5 to 10 years ago. You know, if you only started watching wrestling in the Attitude Era, right, you cannot properly appreciate this segment unless you have been a fan of wrestling since the 80s. You cannot properly appreciate the scope and the level of this segment. So if you fans out there who come on here and go on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, whatever, and you say that segment was BS, no. You're BS for not actually knowing the scope and the history of this segment and what it's got to, what it had to do. All right.
The thing is,
that's how I personally feel, Ash. That's how I personally feel about it.
Well, the issue is, I only started watching since the Attitude Era.
Well, I'm discounting you.
I've actually looked at the history of it. Because in order to get to where you were in 2000, things had to happen before 2000.
Yes. Exactly.
You know, I see that some people don't, and they're not aware of it, and hopefully there's enough people out there that are making them aware of it that they can appreciate it more.
But
the only issue is, there was no crowd reaction for Layla, no crowd reaction for Wendy, but the fact is, Wendy didn't say a lot. And Cyndi Lauper hasn't got a great voice that is, you know, it'll irritate some people, because it does sound like helium. But, you know, the bit that even worse was Heath Slater singing.
Oh, Lord.
That was just...
When he started singing, I immediately started thinking, so Julian Hall does have an offspring.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I won't get into Jillian Hall after the pictures that appeared of her in the past month. I just don't want to...
What?
Well, we'll save that for a later discussion, is what we'll do. We'll save that for a later... Let's get back to this segment.
It wasn't Jillian Hall in a good way.
Yeah,
okay.
well, we'll get to that as soon as we're finished.
We'll discuss that once the video's finished. So
Yeah. But now back to this segment. From what it looks like, apparently Heath Slater's going to be the guinea pig of sorts, I guess, for all the legends to come in and I guess just popularly abuse left and right. Last week it was Vader, and this week was the Hot Rod. Roddy Piper comes in wearing a shirt. If girls want to have fun, call the Hot Rod. And of course, Roddy Piper. I don't know if you guys would agree with this or not, but I believe Roddy Piper saved the segment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the thing is, the bit that was really touching was the tribute to Lou Albano.
Exactly.
Well, clearly it was the segment involving the gold record and smashing it over the head, because they basically said it. But the fact that they gave a nod of appreciation to Lou Albano, one of the greatest managers that there has been.
Yes.
I'd say. You've got a... Plus, he was Mario, for God's sake.
Yeah. Everybody do the Mario!
Yeah, do the Mario, yeah. Such a great talent. And the fact is that was a nice bit, and it was kayfabe's supposed to be a commemorative, kind of award to Cindy, but clearly it was full for the segment. The thing that got me was Cole was laughing throughout it.
Oh.
You're supposed to... I don't mind you laughing. The thing is, he thought the singing was good. He was saying this segment was awful. Well, the fact is, it wasn't helped by you laughing when it was trying to be a little serious. Yeah. Oh yeah, laugh about Lou Albano being dead. Nice. But
Michael Cole pissed off a lot of people tonight, I believe, in this segment. Because,
how is that different from any other week?
well, for one thing, he's laughing at someone who's dead. Is what he's doing.
The thing is, I agree with Cole. This was an embarrassing and awful segment. If it wasn't for Piper, it would have been one of the worst segments in the history of Raw.
And on that note, my grade for it, because I gotta go 2 out of 5.
Yep.
No disrespect to Lauper, Wendy Richter, or Roddy Piper. Maybe some disrespect to Heath Slater, the one-man band who can't fucking sing out of his wet paper bag. Excuse my French. But I gotta call Lauper on the botch on the hitting him over the head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I gotta call Cyndi Lauper out on that, because that
didn't even mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was royally messed
when it
up.
went over the head, she did it twice, and the second time, blood came out the hard way.
Yeah, and for one thing, WWE has this thing about guys being hit in the head with foreign objects, but Lauper's gonna not only wallop Heath Slater in the face with that golden record, but she's gonna botch it up and mess it up and cause him to get cut and start bleeding on his head. Actually, I think even you made the statement that
wasn't a chair.
Well, it was still towards the head. It was still towards the head. And I know WWE is kind of a stickler for guys getting hit in the head with foreign objects, let alone it being a chair. So I gotta call Lauper out on that one. That's why it gets such a low score, in my opinion. Even though I did say, in my personal opinion, Roddy Piper saved the segment, he didn't save much. 2 out of 5. Ashley, your thoughts?
Well, the fact is, nobody gave a crap about Layla. Nobody gave a crap about Richter, which is fair because, as I say, she really didn't say a lot. Nobody gave a crap about Lauper because she kind of botched. Nobody gave a crap about Slater because he's useless. And please, let's just have him job every week to Legend until he gets released from his contract. Please, WWE, because there ain't much future in him. In the past month, he's gone from being the one-man Southern band to being the one-man rock band to being the one-man band.
Yeah.
Being the one man.
Eventually, he's just going to be banned altogether from everything. Just 2 out of 5.
Chris, your thoughts and your grade?
1 out of 5 if it wasn't. It would have been 1 out of 5 if it wasn't for Piper.
Exactly.
I agree with y'all about Piper, but One thing, though, Slater reminded me of Jillian Hall, except we're actually still dealing with the girl here.
Oof.
My sick attempt at a joke. I'm sorry for all you WGS-TV listeners having to endure my jokes. Went to a Rodney King joke, but hey, this is wrestling. So
At least Heath Slater didn't have any black eyes. Whoops.
Oh! Next matchup on Monday Night Raw was a tag match, apparently. Epico and Primo and Rosa Mendez. I would say, wow. You know, everybody's looking at what she was wearing, or should I rephrase that? Wow, look at what she wasn't wearing, and that was lack of clothes, and that's always a plus in my department. But they didn't let her dance, and I was a little ashamed about it. I mean, whenever Rosa Mendez is out there, I want to see her dance. Anyway.
What about jump rope?
That too. Oh. I think I need a cold shower now. Thank you, Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one unknown fact that night when Rosa Mendez was jump roping, Billy actually got hypnotized by bouncing boobs.
No, sorry. Don't you remember the moment 18 months ago on Raw or SmackDown when Rosa had the shake weight? Enough said.
Yeah, enough said, as we're trying to keep it PG here on this week's Monday Night Raw review.
Now I've rebut what I just said. Rosa Mendez in the shake weight. You can find it on YouTube and then realise that what I was implying wasn't PG, but what I said was.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we got this matchup. Apparently, Epico and Primo want to get revenge on Abraham Washington, or AW, as now I can't. What was the name of the stable? He said it was like All World Wrestling. I'm sorry.
Prime Time Players.
No, the name of the stable is
AW Enterprises.
Yeah, but he said a statement like something wrestling or something like that.
AW Enterprises.
Well,
AW Promotions.
Yeah, well, apparently now it's with the Primetime Players, and it was an interesting matchup. I didn't really notice some people were thinking about possibly a face turn for Epico and Primo. The crowd, I don't think, was really into this match, and they probably just didn't care too much about it. But Epico and Primo get the win because the Primetime Players got decided to say, hey, it's time for us to take a count out lost. Very dull match, in my opinion. I think the only reason why I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 is for the fact we got to see Rosa Mendez. Enough said. 3 out of 5. Ashley, your thoughts?
3 out of 5 because it was a good tag match, but it just reminded me of Los Boricuas versus the Nation of Domination. To be quite honest,
I can go one better than that. Los Boricuas versus the Disciples of Apocalypse.
Well, no, because there was. I said Nation.
Well, you know
of
what? Now I get it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, your thoughts on the match?
All I gotta say about this is the Primetime Players should change their name to Not Ready for Primetime Players. But then I realized that's Saturday Night Live, and Abraham Washington certainly ain't ready. I think he should just go back to having that laughing sidekick Tony Atlas. Hey, recreate the Slammies where he had Abraham Washington, Tony Atlas, and Big Dick Johnson.
Oh God.
The thing is, though, Abraham is a good manager, and Primetime Players aren't that bad a tag team. Individually, they're rubbish. As a tag team, they're actually pretty good and work well because you've got the John Cena-like guy, and then you've got the big guy in Titus O'Neil.
Sorry, but Titus O'Neil just reminds me of Rodney King.
Can we get off of that name for the Raw review, please? Thank you.
I thought you could have said Ezekiel Jackson.
Yeah, that might have been better.
That Ezekiel Jackson is nowhere to be seen because, I don't know.
He's making YouTube videos now.
Anyway, next up was the main event match, John Cena. Now, originally, it was slated to be Big Show, David Otunga, and John Laurinaitis. However, Big Show apparently turns on Laurinaitis, pretty much says, there was no point for him to be in this match. There was no reasons for him. And pretty much told Otunga and Laurinaitis that they were on their own. So it was David Otunga and Laurinaitis versus John Cena. And basically we see John Cena dominate about 90% of the match. And then when David Otunga mounts a little bit of offense on Cena, Laurinaitis wants to tag. He rips off the neck brace, takes off the arm sling, throws the crutch away. Apparently he's fine, 100% healthy. Gee, what a miracle. All you marks out there, how about that? A miracle healing in the match. Laurinaitis is fucking fine. Excuse my French.
Hang on. Okay, on that thing.
So much for keeping it PG.
I apologize for my French.
I thought it was German. The thing is...
It was Italian.
The one thing that you said there, it was a 2-on-1, but Otunga was trying to tag Laurinaitis, but Laurinaitis would want nothing to do.
No, it would not.
So then when the tag came, Otunga says, right, you want to be involved, you do it. I'm off. I've done my effort for the night.
Yeah, and Otunga turns on Laurinaitis and turned his back on him. And lo and behold, Cena gets back up and starts initiating the beatdown of Laurinaitis with not one, not two, but 3 attitude adjustments, followed up with the STF and the immediate tap out of Laurinaitis. And of course, everybody was happy. Teddy Long in his golf suit, jumping up and down, happy about that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure every fan... now, I'm going to tell you this, guys. I have a future video planned out, because I have something I would like to say about all you guys out there who still go to WWE arenas and shows and chant, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." And I promise you guys, I promise you, for all of you guys out there who still chant that, you will not, I promise you, you will not like what I have to say about you guys on this video. So if you want to find out what I have to say about you guys out there, all you Cena all you Cena haters out there, be sure you stay tuned into my channel, because I promise you, you want to start chanting, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks," I might have a different chant for you guys, but the only way you're going to find out what that chant is to stay tuned for that video on a future date. But,
you are awesome.
Cena people,
awesome.
We're coming for you, narcolepsy.
Yeah. As far as this match goes, Laurinaitis getting beat down, I'm always happy to see that. In fact, I was laughing my ass off when, 1, Laurinaitis got fired last night, and 2, the Spanish table, he went through the Spanish announcers table. We've always said it, me and Ashley have always said it, it's not a proper WWE pay-per-view unless the Spanish announce table is abused in some form or fashion.
And sometimes even the Spanish announcers.
Okay. But as far as tonight's match goes, 4 out of 5. That's all I got to say about that. Ashley, your thoughts on the main event?
3 out of 5. It would have been better if Big Show was there, but the storyline kind of thing worked out. But the fact is, you just ended on a high point.
Yeah.
I'd have left on whoever Cena's going to face in 4 weeks, or 3 weeks at Money in the Bank. Or is Cena actually going to be in the Money in the Bank match to really swerve things?
It would be his first Money in the Bank match ever that he's ever been in. I can't recall him ever being in
considering
this
every other single time he's been a champion, he hasn't needed to be in Money in the Bank.
Well, yeah, that, alright, Chris, your grade on the main event?
4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing John Laurinaitis. I enjoyed seeing him get his ass whooped and handed to him like a little girl. But I kind of wish that we could have seen. But the one thing that I wish we could have seen was Zack Ryder. But he did have a match on Superstars.
And we'll probably have to wait till Thursday to see that. We'll probably wait till Thursday to see that. Overall score on tonight's Monday Night Raw, I'm going to go 4 out of 5. I thought this was a lot more entertaining than No Way Out was. I wish No Way Out could have been a little bit better than it was. I'm still questioning WWE's motives about, putting Ryback squash matches on a pay-per-view. I just don't see the point of that. WWE is kind of turning into WCW by doing that. But as far as tonight goes, I really thought tonight was really a good match. A few of the good matches, in my opinion, it was Sheamus, Punk, Kane, and Daniel Bryan. I thought that was a good match. And that's pretty much it. Well, Ziggler and Swagger, I thought that was good too. The reason why I don't go 4.5 out of 5 again is Cyndi Lauper botching on the hit to Heath Slater. Didn't see any point for Epico and Primo and the primetime players, even though it was good to see Rosa Mendez out there. And screw you fans who don't know the history between Wendy Richter, Cyndi Lauper, and Roddy Piper. That's all I got to say about that. Ashley, your overall score Monday Night Raw this week?
3.5 out of 5. An okay show. Not bad as a go-home show. Not as a come, first Raw back, shall I say, a show. Could have been better, and I just, seriously, I'm more interested. I never thought I'd say this 6 months ago, but my God, is TNA looking so much better now than WWE.
Chris, your overall score on Monday Night Raw this week?
4 out of 5. Not really much else to say.
All right, again, for you guys at home, that's 4 out of 5 from me, 4 out of 5 from Chris, and 3.5 out of 5.
Well, 3 out of 5 is the official one. The unofficial one, because the dark match was 5 out of 5.
Okay. So if you guys, we want to hear from you out there right now, the WGS-TV viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Do you agree with our ratings for this week's Monday Night Raw, or do you have a different rating? And do you have a different opinion on Monday Night Raw? We'd like to hear from you.
Do you agree with Dean Ambrose and that he should be on WWE now?
That might be a future video as well. We might discuss that on a future video. But for right now, we want to hear what you guys have to say on Monday Night Raw. Put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget, if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, Chris Rogers, the Studley Man Ashley, or anybody you see here on WGS-TV, you visit the official Facebook page of WGS-TV, facebook.com/WGS-TV. You can post your questions over there. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer. For the master of Rockin Waves 11294, Chris Rogers, the Studley Man Ashley, IWB Billy Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.
GCW, Gulf Coast Wrestling, where the bad boys play.
Gulf Coast Wrestling of Louisiana proudly presents Ring of Fire at the New Iberia City Park Rec Center in New Iberia, Louisiana, Friday, June 22nd, and Cajun Carnage at the American Legion Hall in Abbeville, Louisiana, Saturday, June 23rd. Come out and watch your GCW superstars put it all on the line as we bring the most intense, most high-impact wrestling that we have to offer. Those on the card: Kid Crash, as well as the one and only Green Man, Ronald A. Mikey Boudreaux, Flip Wolfman Jackson. Another on the line here is the Big Mother Trucker himself, Trucker Jones, Big John Steele, the GCW Abbeville Tag Team Champions, High Definition, as well as the Heavyweight Champion, The Rocket. Also featuring former WWE superstar and diva, the female fighting phenom Jazz, and Red Dog Rodney Mack. That's right, folks. Come out to Abbeville and New Iberia, June 22nd and 23rd, as we bring you some of the most intense wrestling here in South Louisiana. Now, tickets are on sale in both locations. For the Iberia show, GCW-GulfCoastWrestling.com, then click the tickets icon. And for the Abbeville show, call 772-8010, 517-6548, and 517-0823. Once again, folks, this is a double weekend, Friday and Saturday, June 22nd and 23rd, New Iberia and Abbeville, Ring of Fire, Cajun Carnage. You do not want to miss this, folks. You have every opportunity, so get your tickets now. This is action. This is adrenaline. This is GCW.